It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, August the 21st. Good morning. I am thrilled to be back. I had a few days off last week. Celebrating a birthday, traveling with the wife, having a good time. Very glad to be back on a Monday morning. The Rolling Stones, Satisfaction, released in 1965, still just completely holds up, still gives us so much to think about. What are you satisfied with? What are you unsatisfied with? And how about this? Let's just dive right in. We've talked several times. There's a great page on the Reddit message boards, AITA. Am I the asshole? That's basically what it is. And here's an amazing one that involves a bucket list. We all know what the bucket list is, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Let's say you got a list of things, you got to check it off before you pass away.
Yeah.
Well, what if your bucket list suddenly becomes front of mind because you're told by a doctor you got about 6 months? What are you going to do? What are you going to say? What when all of the shackles of societal expectation are removed, what is most important to you? And it leads to this. A guy posted on the page that his wife, terrible story, they've been married 10 years, his wife has been given a diagnosis. She is not long for this earth. And she asked him for one thing, will you be okay? Would you give me permission, essentially, to sleep with my ex?
Whoa.
Like, I just, there was a physical compatibility with my ex that I've just never had anywhere else, and I'd like one last chance to be with him.
What about a trip to Europe, sweetie?
And yeah, thank you. And so the guy on the page, in case you're wondering, well, he wasn't too thrilled about it. He was like, absolutely not. And his question is, so am I the asshole? And I just thought, wow, of all the things. Let's just cut to the quick. Because the first thing everyone says is, well, put yourself in that situation. I don't know how you say no to anybody's literal dying request.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
If this were my situation, I mean, I'll put it right in my own lap.
Yeah.
My wife says that to me. I think I say, well, I've got, as far as we know, much longer than you do to process this.
Right.
So I'll do that. Yeah. You don't have long, and if this is literally what comes to mind, it's clearly important to you. How do you tell a dying person no to something that's not going to hurt anyone other than your feelings?
Assuming the ex would be into it. What if he's like, no
That's
way.
where I was about to go, too. What kind of guy is like gets the call out of the blue? Hey, listen, I'm rapidly declining. Can we make love one last time? That might be
right
a
here.
little. I see your hand is raised, Brian.
I'm a guy. Yeah. I get a freebie, and apparently they probably had some pretty rockin' sex at one point in their life. That's why she wants to go back. I agree with you. I don't think you can tell a dying person no, but I think I would say goodbye. I'd say, yeah, go knock yourself out. Maybe I'll see you at the funeral.
Really?
I'm not going to take care of her dying ass if she's going to go bonk another day. I mean, knock yourself out.
Bonk.
Wow.
Go. Spend the next 6 months in the sack with the dude. But I'm out. I'm gone.
Candace, thank you for
bonking?
for the reiteration of the underused term bonk.
Bonk.
We really need to bring that one back around.
I'm trying to be sensitive.
I appreciate you, bonk.
I'd be cool with it, I think.
Yeah.
You think you'd be cool with it
Yeah.
if your partner said, "I got to go lay down with someone else"?
Yeah, if he's gonna die, yeah.
Well,
for sure.
I'm not saying I'd be cool with it, but I'm saying I don't know how you then say to your, like if you've got this really great relationship, you're like, listen, anyway, no.
Right.
I also cannot for the life of me, and I have an active imagination, I can't imagine my wife suggesting this.
Yeah.
But you never know, I guess. I mean, I guess that once that lid is lifted there is an end date in sight, maybe there are all sorts of things. I'm curious if you do. But moving on to that into the bigger picture, because, there's that movie Bucket List that came out a few years ago and everybody loved it. And it's funny. And these old men going out and finally skydiving and finally, I didn't see it, but whatever they were all doing. But if your bucket list turns into, no, it's not a bucket list for the rest of your life. It's one thing and you got to do it pretty quickly. Does something come to mind? Like, I'm out of here in less than 6 months. What am I going to do? What do I want? What occurs to you? That's a fascinating concept to me because, do you really know yourself, much less other people?
I would finally pay my taxes. No, I'm kidding. I pay my taxes every year. I don't know why I said something so asinine.
You said that you don't. What are you talking about?
I don't know, Tony.
Brian
What is
Zapp.
that?
We're on the air, dude.
What's all this sovereignty stuff you're talking about all the time?
God, that's a tricky one. I mean, because there are no consequences.
I imagine you would get up to some malfeasance, Brian. If you don't mind my saying that.
I mean, so here's what I wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't want to terrify. I wouldn't want to use I'm checking out to terrify people, but I've always, that whole running in and rob a bank kind of thing or something like that.
There it is.
I mean, because you're not going to jail. It's not even coming to trial. I mean, and I wouldn't shoot any. The gun wouldn't be loaded. Might not even be a gun involved. Maybe I would have a bomb strapped to my body. I don't know. Something fun like that. But I don't know because it really unleashes the imagination. We talk about if you win the lottery, but you're going to be around for that. You can't get too stupid. You're just spending money. But if you're checking out, really anything's on the table. Huh.
Yeah, that's a lot to think about. Candace, does anything come to mind right away? Like you got one. What's the one thing?
Party time. Let's
just party
do some
time?
drugs.
Yeah,
Maybe
really?
some
You throw
acid.
a party?
Yeah, I will have some acid.
What are you waiting for?
Just kidding.
I mean,
That's 2 acids.
waiting for a death
I
sentence.
like acid.
Yeah. Really want to do
Well,
some
I'm
acid.
just too scared to do it in my real life, so I would.
In your real life?
You're about to get the realest life you've ever had.
What if you
Come on.
OD'd, though, and that's what killed you early?
Oh.
Can you imagine? Wow.
Or
This
I
is
just
fun.
maybe like travel and spend all my money, but yeah.
Back at you guys. Steve?
It's funny. I don't. My first thought is I get, the first thing that occurs to me as well. I mean, my kids are both away. I just want to spend every minute I could with them.
Yeah.
And my family and the dog. You just think about the people you love and all that. But I'm like, maybe there's some. I got a little time to think about it. By the end of the day, if I have some bizarre notion, I'll share it with you. I don't think, there was a long time when I did want to go skydiving, and I just never did. And I always said, by God, I'm going to do that. I've got to do it. I no longer feel the urge to do that. But maybe, like you said, maybe I would want to do that. And then, of course, the parachute wouldn't open. Like to your, overdosing on drugs. I'm finally going to jump out of a plane, and I shouldn't have packed that parachute myself, maybe. I don't know. I used to scuba dive. I haven't done that in over 20 years, just for just various reasons. I didn't decide to stop, but that's fun.
Right.
I don't know. I don't want to rob a bank. I don't want to strap a bomb to my chest, which I know.
Spitballing this morning.
But I don't know. Maybe just sit at a drum kit for a minute and then go hug the kids. I'm just thinking I would hope I would not uncover some heretofore unknown side of myself. I'd feel weird at 58 years old if I suddenly went, you know what I never knew about myself? I was born to tap dance. I mean,
well, it makes you wonder if you got that shocking news, you would have such a physiological response that, what would it unlock? What would pop into your head? Tony, anything? Would you put your clothes on in public?
Well, because I've never seen the show once, I think I would love to just binge watch Grey's Anatomy. What a lovely way to go out. No, I don't know.
18 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
Something in space. I'd want to be shot into space or something.
Yeah.
See sights I haven't seen.
It would be cool. I've always wanted to see the planet, right? To be out there in that vast emptiness, that vacuous, infinity out there, and then looking back on planet Earth. That would be pretty cool. And that could be arranged.
What if you could not only go to space, but you could take the billionaire of your choice with you and sabotage the return?
Ejector
Who would you take with? I'm going out, and so are you, billionaire number one.
Yeah, hit the ejector button.
Something.
Well, ponder that this morning and jump in on the conversation. What a pleasant way to start a Monday morning. If you were going to die in 6 months, no consequences, what is it? What's that one thing on your bucket list that you wouldn't even maybe say out loud? You wouldn't even dare to dream about that you'd want to do before you cack? 651-989-ROCK. It's the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and text line. Candace, I'm sure she's all over the Facebook already. And Mike Evans is coming with that Hollywood Report at 6:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Monday, August the 21st. And it is time to head to the West Coast, the left coast. Mike Evans with the Hollywood Report. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. This report brought to you by our good friends over at Marcus Theater. Don't forget, every Tuesday is Value Tuesday. $6, just $6, gets you in to see any movie you want to see. 20% off all concessions. And the theater of the week this week, I'm declaring Southbridge Crossing Cinema. There you go.
Nice.
Nice to have you back, Boo.
Really, really nice to be back, Boo.
Missed you, Boo. Hey, Love Nuggets. So here's the latest on Brittany and Sam's divorce that will turn into a full-blown war. Brittany says, well, she had just had enough. But she doesn't say or explain what enough is.
Right.
While Sam says Brittany has bit, physically attacked him. She disappears for weeks at a time with no explanation. She continues to post nearly nude pictures and videos of herself. Mm-hmm. She causes scenes at restaurants. Sam says, and that's just the beginning. He hasn't even begun to tell the whole story. It's bizarre. And another sidebar, did you know that Sam is 13 years younger than Brittany?
No, I know that Sam's kidding himself. I mean, everything you just listed as his list of complaints, we all knew that was happening already. What
exactly?
What ice cave did she thaw him out of and marry him before he knew what the hell he was getting involved in?
I know. While we don't know if Kanye West and Bianca are actually married, I believe they are. Here's the scoop for you. Bianca wears the pants in that relationship. She stays in the background, but she makes all of his business decisions. And Hailey Bieber, Justin Bieber's wife, she calls all the shots in his career moves as well.
Probably for the best in both those young men's situations.
Totally agree. A sad nugget, Jimmy and Rosalind Carter have been married 77 years. Mm-hmm. They're 98 years old. Both are in serious failing health. Their grandson over the weekend said the end is very, very near for Jimmy and Rosalind. Just a sad note.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They met the day Rosalind was born, or the week she was born. She met Jimmy. He's like 2 or 3 years older. Their parents were friends. They've literally known each other for their entire lives.
Yep, they have. Updating Hurricane Hillary, which was joined by an earthquake yesterday. Mm-hmm. Currently hitting Southern California. You know, the average rainfall for Los Angeles in the month of August is 1/100th of an inch.
That checks out, yeah.
During the storm, LA could get as much as 4 inches in 2 days.
You know, it's funny because a lot of parts of the world, you think 4 inches in 2 days. Yeah, it's a lot, but I mean, whatever. Man, in Southern California, that's like somewhere else normally getting rain, getting 40 inches. It's really not like a laughing matter. They're not prepared for it on any level. And I'm not just talking about how horrible the driving is when it rains out there. I mean, the infrastructure, a lot of flooding probably about to happen out there.
And Palm Springs is submerged. They're getting 2 years of rain in 48 hours.
Yeah, it's never a good thing to get it all at once.
They closed down the 10 around Palm Springs, the main freeway in and out of there.
Wow.
Odds and ends just voted the most beautiful 65-year-old star, Michelle Pfeiffer.
No argument.
No argument. The top 3 movie box office over the last 30 days. Number 1, Barbie, $1.2 billion.
Okay.
Number two, Oppenheimer, $660 million.
Oh.
And number 3, kind of lost in the whole shuffle, Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, $526 million.
It only did $500 million. What a loser.
Yeah. And that nasty, talk about losers, not funny movie Strays with Jamie Foxx and Will Ferrell cost $50 million to make. It brought in $8 million over the weekend.
Oof.
Huge bomb.
Yeah, that's a black eye.
Hottest TV rumor, Whoopi Goldberg is either going to be fired or quit The View sometime in the next couple of weeks.
I'm fascinated to hear that show still exists.
I am too.
Wow.
More rumors that Jane Fonda may be retiring due to health issues. We wish her well.
Okay.
And I was reminded of something over the weekend, so I decided to make it part of my report today. An instant pop quiz question. Many, many, many years ago, my grandmother, Nina, got me hooked on a certain fruit that I still love. Nina used to say, Mac, eat your alligator pear. My question to you is, back back in the day, they called it an alligator pear. What do they call this fruit today?
Avocado.
Avocado. Very good.
An alligator pear. That's a way cooler name.
I know. Alligator pear. It was really ridiculous. Well, great to have you back. Vikings lost this week.
Now, they didn't play one starter.
Well, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Hey, give my Titans a win whenever we can get one, okay? I'm for the first time in 5 years, I'm not feeling bullish on the Titans going into a season.
And the Cowboys lost again, and Denver lost again. So I don't know what the heck's going on.
It's all preseason.
It's going on, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
It is. It certainly is.
Hey, great to have you back. Great to be back. Talk to you tomorrow. See you.
Right on, Mike Evans. We appreciate that. Today's August 21st. Check this out. As a kid growing up in Maryland, one of my best friends, a kid named Butchie Connor. His name is Paul, but his family nickname Butchie.
Nice.
I mean, and he was a little tough. Like Butchie's, he's a little tough kid.
Yeah.
Named Butchie. He was actually a champion swimmer. When we were little, we were on the swim team, and he was faster at the butterfly than I was at freestyle. Like, he was a stud swimmer early on. My birthday, August 17th, Butchie's August 20th. We always had a pool party together to celebrate both birthdays. For summer after summer, Steve and Butchie, the August Leos, right? Late summer at the pool, pizza, cake, the whole thing. He was 12 years old, and his family took a trip to Ireland, so they had to get passports for the kids. They pulled out his birth certificate. He was 12, and he was born at 12:01 a.m. on August 21st. They had celebrated his birthday on August 20th for 12 years.
Wow.
He was 12 when they went, oh, wait a minute, your birthday's actually the 21st.
Wait, what? Huh?
I mean, seriously, can you imagine being 12 and finding out your birthday's wrong?
It's probably one of the few ages in your life when you'd care more than like 12. When your birthday is all powerful. I mean, you start to understand it. It's a big deal.
Well, like everything. You see 20 everywhere. Like, I see 17 all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not looking for it. I couldn't care less. But I am always finding 17s in places. You would see 20. That's your number. Your birthday's your number, whether you think about it or not. So he's like literally 12 years old. And they go, oops. Yeah, we Mom was in labor all night, and they just literally somehow never put it together. But literally 12:01 a.m. on the 21st, and he had been. So then they switched it. I mean, like at 12, they're like, well, all right, so he's now. But even at that age, you've already written your birthday on things your whole life. 8:20, and then it's 8:21. That's just a crazy thing to me.
And you're like, I don't know who I am anymore.
That's what I'm saying. You just
My
never
life
know.
is a lie.
It's just one of those things. You got to love it. All right, let's look back. How about a history lesson?
I like sports. I know music better than anybody else in this f***ing office.
And who are you, old sport?
I'm Steve.
All right, I couldn't find any sports history for August 21st. It's just a bunch of nonsense baseball stuff. But I do want to share one sports story just from over the weekend. If you missed it, the Women's World Cup concluded in Australia. Spain beat England 1-0 yesterday morning, okay? Now, Spain, the men's team from Spain has won the World Cup once in 2010. And in that game, Iniesta, the great midfielder, scored the game winner. He beat Holland 1-0. And as he scored the goal back in 2010, Iniesta raised his jersey, and he had a T-shirt on underneath that had some words in Spanish. It was the name Dani Jarque, siempre con nosotros. It was a message. He had lost a friend, and he said, I scored that goal for my friend, will always be with you. He paid tribute to his fallen friend after scoring the biggest goal in his country's history.
Cool.
Yesterday, Spain beat England 1-0. Olga Carmona scored the winning goal. She lifted her shirt, and it also carried some words, and the name Merchi was on there. Merchi is her best friend's mother, who passed away earlier in the week. She scored the goal and said, I dedicated that to my friend's mom, who we lost. So Spain has had 2 World Cup wins now. Both times the goal scorer paid tribute to a fallen friend. But yesterday, just to wrap up a Spanish tragedy, cue the acoustic guitar. After the game, the goal scorer, Olga Carmona, was pulled aside and told that her father had passed away.
Oh man.
Wow.
I mean, talk about just a heartbreak.
Yeah.
At the moment of victory, so she scores the biggest goal in women's soccer for her country ever. She wins the World Cup, and in the celebration, they have to tell her, and your dad's no longer with us. Now, he had been ill. It wasn't a complete shock, but still.
Wow. Do you go out and party after that?
I don't know what you do, but I do know this. Don't score the winning goal for Spain in the World Cup.
Well, I mean, maybe they do this every World Cup. They just don't get any recognition because they don't win. Maybe all sorts of dead people went unheralded.
That's what I'm saying. If you're on the team in Spain, just pass the ball because someone you care about either just did or is probably about to go down. I don't know. It was just a striking thing to me to see yesterday. But anyway, it was a heck of a tournament. Despite the U.S. loss, I enjoyed every bit of it that I saw.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, August the 21st, and whenever Bryan Adams was in the mixing session for that song and he said, fade it out quick, someone listened. Man, that song went away in a hurry.
Pulled her right down,
I thought I had a few seconds left to just, reminisce and think back to the summer of 69. But no, we had to get moving. It's Monday, August the 21st. Good morning. Today we're talking about bucket list, but not just any bucket list. We all know what a bucket list is.
Yeah.
There's a movie about it, for crying out loud. It's that thing like, what do you got to do while you can still do it? This is a very, very different story that caught our attention this morning, and it's taken from a Reddit page called AITA. Am I the a-hole, basically, is what this page is. People share stories and say, did I handle this wrong? Was it that guy's problem, or was I the jerk? Was he the jerk? Or well, actually, was I the a-hole, or was he the a-hole? The long story short is this. A gentleman shares a post. It's tragic. He's been married for 10 years, has a very happy relationship with his wife. She has a terminal disease. She's projected to live at most 9 months, and it will be a downhill slide for those 9 months. And she has asked, as she has been told, she has very little time left, if he would mind. Basically, his wife said, I'd like to sleep with my ex one last time.
Wow.
I mean, of all the things to, honey, you got 9 months, and really you've only got like 4 or 5 months where you can still do whatever you want. What can I do for you? What do you want? And she said, I've been thinking about it. I want to sleep with my ex.
That's not what
do you
she
say in that situation if you're the guy? That's what he's asking about. He is struggling with this greatly. My thought is, well, you say okay, and then you struggle with it. You process it on your own time. She's going to be gone. It hurts, but how do you say no to someone who's dying? Like, she probably was unaware of just how much she wanted this, and it got us talking about. What if you got that news? Like, not to be morbid necessarily, but how do you turn a negative into a positive? What silver lining do you get out of, hey, you got 9 months to live? What comes out? What have you been keeping under wraps? What societal expectations have you been prescribing to that have kept you from saying what you actually want to do? What is it? What's on your list? What would come to mind? And I've been thinking about this. Mm-hmm. And I like I said, my first thought would be, I just want to, tell my kids, okay, come home from college. We're going to hang. I just want to be with them for as long as I could. But along the way, surely something would pop up, but I don't know what it is. I used to think I wanted to skydive.
Yeah.
And I no longer do. And I wouldn't now say, okay, that's it. I'm going to skydive. Or I want to take a trip with the Blue Angels. I don't know that those things would still be that appealing to me.
Right.
So I guess maybe a life of crime, maybe a crime spree. Literally, maybe just rent a car and just rob convenience stores until they catch me.
Because those things, the aforementioned things, I don't know, the Blue Angels, might be tough to get a spot in a seat with the Blue Angel, but the things you talked about, skydiving and spending more time with the kids, are things that are achievable without having a death sentence placed on your head.
Right,
but
exactly.
Those kind of things that you would never do. I would never do that if I expect that I'm going to continue living, like you mentioned, rob a bank. Do something just crazy and daring and on the edge like that. Smoke a joint and listen to Who's Next, Richard Bain. Put that on the KQ Facebook.
That's called
page.
Friday.
Yeah, I was just going to say, or Monday.
Any day of the week.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of just giving, caring people, give all my stuff away. Sell everything and travel with my kids.
Well, that's good. I think a lot of people would come up with something very, like I'm saying, you're trying to pull a positive. You're trying to shine a darkness with something positive. You could spin that around.
Is there another Tony Lee? Have we talked about this? There's a second Tony Lee on our Facebook page. It's and he's a bit like our Tony Lee. He has a list of people he'd like to sleep with.
Oh, okay.
He must have an orgy.
Or
maybe
kill.
that's
He
it.
didn't specify.
Various genders, backgrounds.
He did just say, I have a list of people. So, yeah, he might be more nefarious. It might just be nefarious as opposed to wanting to sleep with them. Maybe I just would want to do some things in the sack with my lover that I haven't brought up yet.
Like what?
Well, I don't know, weird things. It
Like
might
what?
involve, it might involve
balloons,
an eel. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to think about it because we've done so many things.
Well, that's maybe the guy who
I'll show you at the commercial break.
She's
pictures
requesting the opportunity to sleep with an ex one last time. Maybe her partner could learn from that and go, well, why do you still want to sleep with that guy again?
Yeah.
What could I have done better? How can I be a better lover?
See, I hate that. F her. I mean, not literally. I mean, seriously. What you just told the dude, you're dying, and you just looked at him and said, it hasn't been that great with you, sex-wise.
It doesn't necessarily mean that.
That's exactly what it means.
Hey, man, second place is not last, okay?
Second place is first
last. You win a silver medal at the Olympics in the 100, you're still feeling pretty good about it in your old age. And if you are the love of your life's second best lover, that's not so bad, is it?
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Come on.
Oh, my
Come on.
God.
Come
no,
on.
I don't want to be the second best. I want you to lie to me till you're dead. Just go bang the guy. Why do you got to tell me about it? Why do you have to... Because I said I would, of course, not deny a dying person their wish to sleep with their ex, but I'd also now be your ex. I'd say, good, get out of here, because I wouldn't want to spend 6 months with someone who's dying anyway.
Oh, you're so
what a
sensitive.
downer.
Great, Scott.
Well, I would do it unless they gave me an out, like, hey, I want to go bang my ex. Bang away.
I wonder what imagine being
herp.
the ex. Imagine getting that phone call. Hey, it's been a while. Hey, how's it going? Not well. I'm terminally ill.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I could come over for a quick little burp burp. That's a very, very fraught conversation on a million levels in itself.
Was that a turn on at all?
I don't imagine. Really?
It's free sex. There are no consequences. Or what if she gave you the herp or something like that? Like she got it since the last time you had sex with her. I'm like, she's dying, and I give her last wish, and she sends me packing with the herp.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe she actually has a nefarious impulse. Maybe her true motivation is payback after all these years. Maybe that's what it is. She wants to leave him the gift that keeps on giving.
What if she invited you? Like a threesome. Would you be down for that?
Of Benji.
The devil's threesome, Candace. What about a threesome with her friend? Her hot friend that you've been fantasizing about.
This just took a turn.
What if her hot friend is dying as well?
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, this is amazing. So basically, but here's the question. Is he the a-hole for being upset about it? I'd say no. I think he has I think it makes perfect sense that my man is upset about this.
Yeah.
I also think it's a hard road. You spend the rest of your life knowing you said no to someone's dying wish. That'd be a tough one for me.
Yeah,
You got time to process this. Get a therapist, figure it out. But give someone's got literally one. Like I said before, I think a lot of people, if put in this situation, would be surprised themselves at what they realize they want. I think we all spend a lot of time denying ourselves things for a variety of reasons. And I imagine she's probably as surprised as the next guy. Or the first guy, I guess, is the case where.
There's an oddly specific text we just received. If I was 6 months from going 6 foot deep, I'd punch all 3 of my brothers in the Adam's apple.
And they'd have it coming, I bet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, if you want to follow up that text with a divulging some more information, feel free to give us a shout, 651-989-ROCK. In the meantime, I did want to mention this. Now, I was off the air the last couple days, and we didn't. I don't know if you guys talked about this much. We didn't when I was still around. But the fire in Maui, in Hawaii, which is just jaw-droppingly horrible across the board. Now, it's never too soon to add insult to injury, apparently. I just saw this story. There's a Four Seasons resort on Maui, on the other side of the island, untouched by the fire. And apparently an employee of that hotel gave an interview where she said, well, most of the guests have been understanding, but we have had some complaints. Folks are very upset because, like, say, the zip line they'd booked was canceled. The snorkeling over on the side of the island by the fire is canceled. Restaurant reservations no longer good because the restaurants have burned down and customers are expressing their dissatisfaction with the stay.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
You just can't make that kind of stuff up, man. Horseback riding and zip lining all on the side of the island that just got torched, and people are upset about it. And you can shake your head and say, I can't believe this. But honestly, I can believe it because I was in Los Angeles in 1994 for the Northridge earthquake, the last major earthquake to hit L.A. I was staying at a hotel in West Hollywood. My former band, the Black Crowes, we were making an album in L.A. I'm at a hotel. I wake up at 4:30 like everyone else in Southern California, shaking like I'm in a snow globe. And for a few hours, everybody at our hotel is congregated in the lobby area and right outside, spilling out into the front, outside onto the street. Or right off the lobby, there's the pool around which are seated tables, and you can normally sit there and order breakfast or lunch or dinner by the pool. It's a nice little area. So people are just kind of gathered around. No one's in their rooms is my point. Everyone's in common areas.
Trying to process that.
And for about 3 hours, while there's no electricity and while there's aftershocks every few minutes, the whole place is shaking again. Everyone's comforting each other. It was an incredibly human and humane period of time. Literally strangers going up to, are you okay? Were you asleep? Or were you doing, blah, blah, blah. Really, really moving and lovely moment. Like human nature comes out when Mother Nature shows her ugly head. Everybody was very concerned for each other. At about 7:30, 3 hours after the earthquake, bang, the lights came back on. And immediately, everyone jumped up. Okay, great. Went right back to their rooms, had to get on with their day. People were asking the front desk about, how long do you think it'll be till the phones are back on? And the guy at the front desk is like, I don't know. I work at a hotel. I'm not with the phone company. And I kid you not, in less than 10 minutes after the power came on, I heard a little uproar, and I looked out, and there was a guy sitting by the pool yelling at a waiter that, why can't I have coffee? What do you mean there's no coffee yet? Angrily demanding his coffee. Right. This is 10 minutes after the power was restored after 3 hours out after a 7-point-something earthquake or a 6.7, whatever the hell it was. And I was just blown away. And I couldn't even think of what to say, but I was gearing up to go out and choke this guy. I was so mad. All of my fear from the last 3 hours were just going right to this guy who couldn't understand why they couldn't get him his coffee as soon as he needed it.
Yeah.
And the funny end of the story is, before I could say a word, the actor Alan Rickman, Hans Gruber from Die Hard, was there. And he stood up and he marched out there and he looked at the guy, sadly not in a German accent. That would have been amazing. And he just said, I don't know who you think you are, but blah, 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 blah. We have all been here for 3 hours, and you're worried about your coffee? Do you have any idea how many people probably just lost their lives? I mean, he just went off. And the guy just stared at him with a blank look on his face, waiting for him to stop, and he didn't make a dent.
No, of course not.
Right.
And, of course, the joke in the lobby was, well, he's obviously an agent. That must be who that is.
You know what I would have done? I would have got the cup of coffee, walked up to him, and as I spilled it onto him, said, oh, my God, there was an aftershock. Did you feel that?
There it is.
So
There's
sorry.
That coffee you wanted.
Doggone it. Let me get you a towel.
But so now the Four Seasons and Maui, a little bit of the same thing.
Right.
What do you mean there's a fire? I paid money. I booked this 6 months ago.
Right. A bunch of other islands. Maybe go check out one of the other islands. Or, I don't know, use this as a moment to roll up your sleeves and see if anybody needs any help. Can I deliver some water? What do you guys need me to do?
That's a crazy thought.
Or why don't I just get the hell out of the way? You know
it's
what?
my vacation. I'm not here to help others.
Yeah, well, you folks fight for your lives and your property. Why don't we just get out of your way? We're going to head to another island. Or kids, sorry, you see the tragedy before us? This is called cutting a vacation short.
Yeah,
it happens.
That's how that works.
Yeah. Right. All that good jazz. Oh, my gosh. I forgot we have a game show to get to. Should we skedaddle?
Oh, heck yeah.
Right.
Let's rock.
I know. We got to talking. Right now on the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text line, we'll take a couple callers. You know how we do this. 982-651-989-ROCK. Yes or BS. Tickets this morning, Grand Brews and Beats. Saturday, September 23rd at Grand Casino Mille Lacs. Sample craft beer, wine, and bourbon, plus live music from Rock of Ages. Prize provided by Grand Casino. Our runner-up today gets Minnesota Renaissance Festival tickets. Opened over the weekend. Prize provided by the Minnesota Renaissance Festival. 651-989-ROCK. Dial up. Good luck. and hang tight.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, August the 21st. Hey, this coming weekend, big doings over in Scotland. Up there in the Bonnie Highlands. There is going to be the largest official search for the Loch Ness Monster, for Nessie, in like 50 years. They've got all the kooks and freaks out in the Scottish Highlands. They're going to go to Loch Ness, and they're going to try to find that Loch Ness Monster this weekend. There is a research team, a voluntary research team that's called Loch Ness Exploration, and they've got a whole bunch of people all whipped up and saying, no, we've got new technology. We can really scan it with drones and sonar, and we're going to go see what's really cooking in Loch Ness. Now, it was 90 years ago. This year, 90 years ago, that a guy named Aldi McKay, who managed a hotel in the area, the hotel was called the Drumnadruchet Hotel or something like that. He was clearly just hopped up on local hooch, peat moss in liquid form, as they like to drink up there. He burst into a bar one evening and said he had just seen, his words, a water beast in Loch Ness. And 90 years later, we're still talking about it. An article in The Guardian explaining all the lengths people are going to go to this weekend to try to find the Loch Ness Monster. If you scroll to the bottom on that Guardian page, you see other stories from over the years. Here's the other headlines. Loch Ness Monster could be a giant eel, say scientists.
All right.
Here's another one. Scientists to lead DNA hunt for Loch Ness Monster. Has the internet killed the Loch Ness Monster? But then here's the best one. Loch Ness Monster photo is a fake, the photographer admits. The one photo of the Loch Ness Monster that we've seen for years, that brontosaurus-looking thing coming out of the water,
right.
The guy who took the picture, he admitted back in 2013, yeah, I totally faked that thing.
That was like the dude in the Bigfoot suit that finally came out and said, nah, it was a buddy of mine in a big old ape suit.
Did he? I don't know if he did.
Oh, Tony, you're going to take it to your grave. You're sweet. I'm going to come kiss you on your lips.
That's why I bring that stuff up.
Why do we want these things? Why do we want the Loch Ness Monster to exist?
Yeah, I'll give you aliens, but the Loch Ness Monster, listen, we're human beings. We've sought out and hunted down and killed everything on the planet. If there was a Loch Ness Monster, it'd be hanging on some Scottish pub by now.
I mean, what's it living on? All the fish would be gone by now if Nessie were in there. What's in that lake otherwise? Cod or something? I don't know.
Maybe it's a vegetarian.
Could be.
Right?
Could be. Yeah.
An immortal vegetarian.
It's a plant eater.
It can live forever. Okay.
Well, that changes everything, Tony. I never thought about it being
expand your mind, Gorman.
A plantivore. What do you call it? What do you call a plant eater?
Herbivore.
Thank you. All right, fair enough. Well, anyway, we'll be a week from today. Maybe we'll be all gobsmacked and staring at each other, going, "Holy crap, Nessie exists!"
Is there a prize at stake?
Right.
That'll be pretty exciting. Hey, a month from now, Saturday, September 23rd, at the Grand Casino Mille Lacs, Grand Brews and Beats. It's going to be a chance to sample some craft beer, some wine, and bourbon. Plus, there will be live music from Rock of Ages. And we would love to give away some tickets to that bad boy. Not only that, we're going to give away tickets to the Minnesota Renaissance Festival that opens this weekend. And in order to do this, we're going to play a game, of course. Winner is going to Grand Brews and Beats. Runner-up is going to the Ren Festival. Let's do it, Tony. What is today's game?
Okay, let's play.
That is bull.
Yes. And I say that is bull.
Oh, my God. That is bull.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Okay. Here we go now. The game is
yes.
Yes! Yes! Bull.
The KQ Morning Show presents
Fantastic.
Yes.
Or BS.
Yep, yes or BS, a delightfully competitive trivia battle extraordinaire between two of our finest listeners. We ask a question or make a statement, and you cry true or false, yes or BS.
I love it.
Yep.
Let's do it. Candace, who is contestant number one?
Tubby from Minneapolis.
Tubby, good morning.
Call me.
What's up?
What's happening? How's your day so far?
I'm hopped up on hooch.
As well you should be, Tubby. You, my friend, have already won the day.
Yes.
Let's see if we can make a great day even greater. Are you ready to play yes or BS?
Let's go.
Right on, Tony.
All right, Tubby, my boy. Number 1, our Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins is a devout Mormon polygamist and has 4 wives, all with their own unique personality quirks. True or false?
That's
yes
a
or
bunch of BS.
You're darn right
That
it
is a bunch of BS.
He's too nice to sleep with his own wife.
But hey, a fan base can dream. It'd be awesome if can you imagine? I've decided to just come clean, guys. I'm a starting quarterback in the NFL and a devoted polygamist. Yeah. Talk about headlines.
Tubby number 2, last week, Lionel Richie totally didn't show up for a concert due to poor planning, as when it was showtime, he messaged that he was still on the plane and it wouldn't land.
I think I heard about that. That's yes.
Yes, indeed.
It is, that rascal.
And that gig was at Madison Square Garden, so instead of saying yes, it would be perfectly acceptable to say, yes! Go Marv Albert with that one. Yes!
Tubby number 3, delicious Pop-Tarts are not named for popping out of the toaster, nay, but inspired by the pop art movement and the creations of artists like Andy Warhol.
Yes.
Yes, that is true.
Wow!
A pretentious culture fact to share at the bar.
I'm so happy to have learned that fact today. I had no idea. I would have absolutely said no.
Yeah, same.
Tubby, 3 for 3, brother. Keep it going.
Tubby number 4, every time a chicken lays an egg, its lifespan decreases by 11 minutes.
I'd go with yes.
No. Or chicken? No, that's utter nonsense, I tell you.
Chickens have udders?
Yes.
Wow.
You can milk a chicken.
Go ahead.
What?
You can milk anything with nipples.
Oh, yeah? You want to give it a shot at the break?
Okay, don't use your breath. When you say things like that, don't go to the breathy voice.
Right.
Guys, you can milk anything with nipples.
Nipples.
Brenda Vaccaro stopping by for a moment.
Nipples.
Nipples.
Tubby number 5, Harper Lee's book To Kill a Mockingbird was originally titled Murder Bird.
BS.
Whoops. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Good answer.
Big thumbs here.
Man, it didn't really have the same ring at all. We love the book, Harper, but this title.
Last one, Tubby. Actor Johnny Depp has an irrational but real fear of clowns.
That might be yes.
It might be. What are you saying?
Yes.
All right.
Atta
Good
boy.
job. Good job, young fella.
Tubby, 5 for 6, showing a wide array of facts and factoids that really don't matter. Well done, sir. We're going to put you on ice for a moment. We'll see what contestant number 2 has to offer. Candace, who is contestant number 2?
Ryan from Shakopee.
Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Are you ready for some yes or BS?
Boy, sure am. It's going to be hard to beat Tubby, but let's give her a run.
You got a shot. Come on, let's do it. Ryan, we believe in you. Tony, take it away.
Brian, go get Tubby. Number 1, Messi is not the actual last name of soccer superstar Lionel Messi, but a nickname assigned to him as his room was always in disarray.
Oh, boy. I'm going to go BS on that one.
Attaboy.
That's true.
Well done.
Maybe that's how the family got the name.
Could be. Could be.
Number 2, the names of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's kids are Blossom, Heidi, JoJo, and Lenny.
That, I believe, is BS.
You're right. It's North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm.
Hold
I
on.
thought there was a compass in there.
Let's follow North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. What's the fifth word in that formula? Well, I wonder what that would be.
It's so random. Who got Chicago?
Weed eater.
Sorry.
Weed eater.
Right.
I think is what's missing.
Nothing wrong with Lenny. Number 3, the name of the female character in the video game Tomb Raider is Lara Croft.
That is true. Yeah.
It is true, Ryan.
Angelina Jolie starred in it. And then Alicia Vikander, who I have a huge crush on.
Oh, the little, the Swedish number.
Yes.
As they used to say in the old days.
Very saucy.
Yeah.
Number 4, Doritos is derived from the word Doradito, which means little golden things.
That is BS.
I'm sorry, that is absolutely true.
Really?
Yes.
What?
Doradito.
He's outraged.
I thought for sure with your Doraditos pronunciation, it was complete shtick.
That can't be true. I'm Googling that.
It's just fun to say.
Good Google protocol. All right, let's go. Ryan, all right, 3 for 4. You're still very much alive.
Ryan, number 5, the primary ingredient in hummus is actually sand.
That's BS.
Maria's keeps trying to get me on this Mediterranean diet because all I do all summer is drink beer. She's like, you just got to, come on, hon. Get a little healthier, whatever. I have a bad gut, and the hummus is the one thing I won't go into. But yesterday I thought I'll try it again. I got roasted red pepper. I love roasted red peppers. Still couldn't choke it down. It just I can't get past the fact that it already seems like it's been eaten once.
Love that stuff.
Okay,
It's like leather.
Leather or sand.
Wow.
Hummus critics. Your last one, Mr. Man. The crocodile is unable to move its tongue.
Oh, boy. The crocodile is unable to move its tongue.
Yes, sir.
Your thoughts?
I'm going to go BS on that one.
I'm sorry, it is true. It keeps the water from getting in the throat.
Really?
Yes. Conversely, the alligator can move its tongue.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
If you're going to pick a lover.
Man.
Yeah, the alligator.
That's a rough one to go out on. That's almost damn unfair. In fact, Ryan, if you want to file an official protest, I'll double that. But sadly, for right now anyway, until the Court of Appeals hears this, Tubby has won the game going 5 for 6. Ryan is not leaving empty-handed. As we mentioned, Minnesota Renaissance Festival opens this weekend, and thanks to the Renaissance Festival, you will be provided with 2 tickets. Have a good time, sir. Please wear tights. And Tubby, you, my man, are going to go to the Grand Brews and Beats Saturday, September 23rd at the Grand Casino Mille Lacs. You will be sampling craft beer, wine, and bourbon, live music from Rock of Ages. Cheers, gentlemen, both of you. Very well played.
Yeah.
Right on.
Nice job.
I've made a career out of embarrassing myself. So very little will embarrass me, as a matter of fact. In fact, I just don't know what it would take to embarrass me. But I approached that at the Renaissance Festival when they got me so damn drunk at that Shell's Brewery tasting, I ended up in tights.
Is that true?
On stage. Yeah, I did. There were photos. But I think they've been, I don't know. I'm still suing. There's a lawsuit
History
involved.
does love to repeat itself.
God,
and that's
it was
happening
so
this
cool
weekend.
at the time.
Maybe you'll embarrass yourself and wear tights this fall as the KQ Morning Show is hitting the road for a long weekend. KQ up north, ladies and gentlemen, with BigDeck.com. October 5th through the 8th, we will all be at Cragun's Resort on Gull Lake. Join us for a broadcast of the KQ Morning Show, karaoke party, happy hour boat cruise, live music. It's going to be a blast. Book your stay right now at 92kqrs.com. That's sponsored by BigDeck.com and Cragun's Resort on Gull Lake. Yowza.
Yowza. Looking forward to it. And I will definitely embarrass myself. We just don't know in which manner yet. You guys, we've all become fairly bored, I think, with the crazed airline passenger stories, right? They've just become too common these days.
Every day.
How about a crazed airline pilot? This could be fun.
Oh, boy.
We have a doozy for you at 8 o'clock. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, August the 21st. Good morning. Whew, Fleetwood Mac, go your own way. If you want to go your own way away from here, if you want to take a flight, you're hardly going to be alone. This just in, Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, the number of travelers is just about where it was pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
In June of 2023, 3.3 million people came through MSP Airport.
All right.
That is 10% off the peak in 2019.
Well, that's been my experience at the airport. You've been flying around. I don't know what you've experienced through there, but it gets me thinking, though. That means that the airlines are probably making decent profits again. I wonder if we couldn't bring those airfares down just a penny or two.
Word on the street is for the last 3 months, fares have been going down. Apparently, there are bargains to be had in the fall. I've yet to find those, as my wife and I are already thinking about like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Kids coming in from out of town. My cursory look at fares was kind of shocking. So if they're reduced, then I'm I don't want to know what they were at full price because things are getting expensive, as far as I can tell. But this is generally one of those things. I'm going to assume it bodes well. The ripple effect. I mean, as far as reading the tea leaves, if that many people are traveling, then that's probably a pretty good sign for an awful lot of, for the economy in general and for society, getting people back. To your point, yeah, I did. I had a couple flights last week, and as much as it's nice to see full airports, that usually means that they're just full of idiots who haven't traveled much and who seem to forget, which happened to me. I flew in to MSP yesterday from Portland, Oregon, and I was behind a guy at the TSA line who literally was dumbfounded at having to empty his pockets and remove his belt in 2023.
Welcome back, buddy. Lots happened since the last time you flew 24 years ago.
I was behind a guy in a TSA line years ago who didn't want to take off his belt, and he had one of those dinner plate belt buckles. I mean, it was that big.
You'd think he'd want to pull it off and show it to everyone.
And when the guy said you have to remove your belt, he said, "No, why would I take off my belt?" And I thought, why would you be in a coma for 40 years and wake up today when I'm behind you in line?
Right.
But again, yesterday morning at the Portland, Oregon airport, a guy was literally just like, he wasn't arguing, but I have to really, I got to take the coins out of my. And I got to take off my belt. Now, he was an older guy than me, but he wasn't like, I mean, he was probably in his, I don't know, mid-60s. But I'm thinking, like, really, have you honestly never flown before? And if he hasn't, I'm not going to apologize. What the hell you been doing with your life? Get to an airport. But just read the room a little bit, too. Like, everyone's trying to move.
Yeah. Just do what you're told and get through. And then when you get to the bar and have your beer, start bitching to the person next to you. You realize they made me did you have to take your belt off? You do it all you want after you get through the frickin' line.
They asked for my ID.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. We're about to find out. A big litmus here, I think, are things returning to normal. This weekend, they're talking about, will the state fair be back at pre-pandemic levels this year? Will it be packed? It's going to be sweaty. It's supposed to hit 100 or something like that this week. Wow. Is that what Candace was saying?
I think tomorrow we're looking at 100 degrees.
The big sweat together.
Cool.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be no shortage of beverages on hand at the fair. So, come out and make an ass of yourself with us.
Ice cold and that lemonade, man. If you see a lemonade stand, Steve, stop. That's some damn good lemonade.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, it's really.
All right. Well, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, not exactly.
By the way, 3.3 million passengers in June, bringing the total for the first half of the year to almost 17 million going through the MSP airport. And just quick shout out. Nice airport, guys. Portland, Oregon. Honestly, like going in a time machine back years.
Oh, really? Shag carpeting?
It was just every little thing about it was just inconvenient and old school and just run down. I was shocked. They're in a big rebuild, so there's also tons of construction. But I just thought, I was there yesterday. I was like, boy, it's not so bad here at the old MSP airport. It's pretty nice, actually.
I love our airport.
Yeah, well, when you start traveling around, you love it even more, right? You get some of those other airports where you're walking.
That's exactly right.
Country mile to get from here to there. I love in Bozeman, Montana, just real quick. I know in Bozeman they have I love this. Southwest Montana, Yellowstone's just down the road. Mm-hmm. Greatest fly fishing in the world. The majesty of being surrounded by literally 4 different mountain ranges.
Right.
You know what greets you when you get there off the plane? A big poster saying, "Welcome to Bozeman International Airport, the largest carpeted airport west of the Mississippi."
Really?
Yeah.
It's a tourist attraction.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Got
Fair
that going
enough.
for them.
Yeah, that's a good sign. I do love that Tony threw in a shag carpet question. Boy, shag carpet will hold an odor, won't it? I made a crucial error when living in a dormitory that did not have air conditioning. I took a big swatch. My girlfriend's family was getting rid of their wall-to-wall shag carpeting from their house. It had been around since, the late 60s. This is 1985. And they were cutting it out, and I said, "Man, could I cut a shank of that for my dorm room?" And sure, take it away. And I rolled it up, stuck it in the back of a car, unloaded it, and then as they got hotter in my dorm room, I'm like, what is that smell? And I just, 20 years of a family with 6 kids and 3 animals. It's like, oh, boy, those fibers really hang on to those odors. Big mistake. Back to flying in airports and airlines and pilots. You know, my favorite pilots are the ones that do their job. And you don't ever think twice about them. You walk off the plane, sometimes they're standing there, you just look at them and nod like, you did it. You did what I wanted you to do. You took off and you landed. And you landed where I wanted you to land. Right on. That's all I want to know about my pilot. Okay. I don't want to know what his hobbies are. I don't care if he likes Indian food. Just get that plane to where I expect it to be safely. And that happened in Denver earlier this month. The United Airlines pilot did his job. He flew the plane. He landed in Denver. He was on his way home. That's when things went a little awry. Right. There was a problem in the parking garage at the Denver airport. I assume we've all been there. In fact, I know we all have. Mm-hmm. It's just a monster. I mean, it's just its own little world out there in what used to be rural Colorado. Now it's been built up around a little bit. But the parking decks are huge. Everything about it's just big and wide and open. A United Airlines pilot was having trouble getting out of the Denver airport parking lot. There was a backup, the arm that lifts, the parking lot arm that keeps your car from moving forward.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of them was apparently stuck. It wouldn't move. And the car's backed up, and our friend, a United Airlines pilot, again, his name is Kenneth Jones. I'll go ahead and call him Kenny Jones because he's one of my favorite drummers. Kenneth Jones, on August 2nd, decided he was sick and tired of this arm keeping cars back. So he got out of his car, opened his trunk where he knew to be an axe.
Okay, an axe.
Let's stop right there. Why does a pilot have an axe in his trunk? Don't know. But he took it and he decided, I'm just going to chop this parking arm off this machine and we can all leave en masse without paying. There's, as you may be unsurprised to hear, there's video cameras all over the Denver airport. There are links online. It's all but high def. We can watch this man take an axe and try to chop this arm off. And I say try to because it took him 23 swings.
Wow. Oh, I'm watching him.
Not only does he have an axe, he's clearly never used it before.
Yeah, he swings like a pilot.
Yeah.
So it's not a hatchet, it's a full axe.
It's an axe.
Lumberjack style.
A-X-E,
wow.
axe.
I think this thing is reinforced. He's not even making it. And then the arm pops up while he's smacking.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to chop it. Oh, there, the arm comes off now, finally.
23 full swings before he can get the arm off. 2 airport employees are alerted to what's going on. They run out. They wrestle the axe away from the man, and then the police show up and arrest him in a nearby field.
Well.
He's in a nearby field. When the words nearby field are ever, it's never mentioned in a good story, ever.
Did he get back in his car and just drive away? All right. Yeah. They got him.
This is a man who flies 767s for a living and does a good job of it. He told the police, I just hit my breaking point.
Okay.
And after all this, here's what I say. That's a great place to do it.
Yeah, better there.
Thank you. You did your job. Like I said, he did his job. He got people there safely, got off the plane, and then took an axe to a parking gate.
Oh, I don't want to kick a fun story in the crotch, but remember, was it that airline where the pilot just nosedived, committed suicide with a plane full of people?
That's my point. I mean, pilots are like any of us. They have bad days. The problem with being a pilot is you aren't allowed a bad day. You can't make a mistake. No. And so this guy, and I'm being dead serious, hey, man, well done. You're bottling up. You're not feeling good. Way to take it out on a parking garage arm than anywhere else. All I'm saying is this could have been a whole lot worse.
He's going to practically be a folk hero as a result of this. But, yeah, you're right. That's the time to let loose a little steam with the axe that you're driving around with in your trunk. Did we check for duct tape and zip ties and plastic bags
no
also?
Word yet on what else was in the trunk, but I did have the same thought. Like, what else has he got in there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? You mentioned the flight in Europe when the pilot decided to just take it down into the French Alps. That was a Eurowings, was that airline based in Germany. There's another story from Eurowings. There was a flight from London to Dusseldorf in Germany this week. And a woman was on the flight. Her name is Leah Williams. She got on board, and she saw the flight attendants preparing to give a snack service, and they were offering peanuts. Now, you won't see peanuts on a U.S. flight anymore.
Right.
Because peanut allergies are a thing. Eurowings didn't get that memo, apparently. And because they were about to serve out some peanuts, she, who suffers from a severe nut allergy, went up to the flight attendants and said, hey, guys, I'm very allergic to nuts. If they're even around me, I can get very sick. They apparently were like, yeah, but this is what we're doing. Sorry for you.
They could put her in the nut-free zone.
There's no nut-free zone on that flight. So what she had to do was purchase all of the peanuts they had on the plane. She said, because they're selling them like by the seat. It's a bargain airline where you get your base fare, and then literally, if you want to put something in the overhead, it's an extra charge. Every little thing is an upsell. She bought 48 packets of peanuts to keep them from being distributed. It cost her about $184 to do that.
All right. Well.
And now, so that was, by the way, 3 times the price of her plane ticket. She had a flight for $60 and spent $180 keeping the peanuts from being opened in her presence. She's now requesting a refund. No word yet on whether Eurowings will, in fact, give her the refund.
Well, she probably didn't take the peanuts with her, I'm guessing. All right, so with the nut allergy, the peanut allergy here, I understand it's very severe and the reactions can be and often are deadly, but you can't be in the vicinity of peanuts?
That's what I've heard.
Okay. I mean, just like peanut micro dust gets in the air. All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it.
I'll lay my nut allergy ignorance on the table. Was this a thing until the last 20 years? Right. I don't remember as a kid ever hearing about. I knew people who were allergic to bee stings. Right. I knew people who were allergic to all kinds of things. The first time I heard about peanut allergy was like in the 90s, or maybe even the 2000s. Now, and I could have just been living with my head up my own ass, but I mean, this is like this is not something that we grew up as a kids hearing about. Did you guys ever know about this as kids?
No.
Because PB&J was pretty much a staple, not just in my home, but in American life for children.
Yeah, well, that, and you could get peanuts, PB&J, whatever, anywhere. There wasn't any of this. Oh no, we're a nut-free zone. We don't want any peanut, because you see it warning labels on packages. Hey, this candy was made in a factory that has peanuts in it, and that sort of thing. Now that's all a big deal. I don't know, because who knows? Maybe in our polluted planet, people are developing worse allergies. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. When we were growing up, but I'd never heard the word gluten until about 10 years ago either. So.
Yeah, that's from that Def Leppard song, right? The Count In.
Eating, gluten, glouten, gluten.
Yeah,
gluten.
That's as far as I can tell. That's what that is. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, not bad. Oh, I'm really kind of asleep at the wheel today. It's definitely a Monday for me. I'm just literally sitting here kind of dorking around this morning.
We're getting lost in conversations up. It's a compliment to all of us that we're all losing track of the time on a regular basis today.
Yeah, I could use this morning, and maybe it's just because I had several over the weekend of beer. I'm just not ready to segue to caffeine yet. What I could use is a nice frosty mug of beer brewed from recycled shower water. You heard about this? Yeah, I'd stop trying so hard.
Yeah.
We have that and more coming at 8:30. Hang tight.
Goddamn right.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Sometimes there's just no way to say something, so you just have to come out and say it. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to share a headline with you out of Australia. Not about the Women's World Cup, which just wrapped up yesterday. Spain beating England for their first ever Women's World Cup in soccer. But no, this is from Melbourne, Australia. And here's the headline. Melbourne man charged with lighting fires had ducklings in his underwear, police allege.
Wait.
Which thing is weirder?
You swerved from one ditch all the way over into the other one there for a moment.
Are they okay?
We're trying to get all these stories. An alleged firebug, it says, in Melbourne's southeast. Firebug in Melbourne's southeast. Mate, he's caught with live ducklings in his underwear. Well, sometimes what I like to do in the morning is I wake up, I have a few Panadol for headache relief, and then I stick some live waterfowl into my skivvies.
I suppose they're small and fuzzy. They're fuzzy when they're small like that, I guess.
Yeah.
He's a 31-year-old man with no fixed address. I guess that means he's unhoused. He was arrested Sunday night. 12 fires were reported across the neighborhood over the weekend. Little blazes, a loading dock behind a school, outside a real estate agent's office, several trash bins, or as they say down there, rubbish bins. I love the way the Australians are. Put it in the rubbish. Rubbish is just a great word.
Yeah.
After the arrest, police searched the man and found 2 live ducklings in his underwear.
What?
By the way, not just charged with the arson, but animal cruelty.
Yeah. I think I'd rather be known for being an arsonist than the weirdo who put the ducklings in his undies.
You think? Make no mistake about it. You can explain away arson.
Right.
I don't know. I was always captivated by fire. I was like Donald Sutherland in that weird movie. But no, the ducklings in your drawers? That's a whole different story.
That's not their natural habitat.
No, it's really not. Something about the way those little duck bills run up against me plums. Makes me feel great, mate.
Oh, they're not going to be normal when they're returned back with the other ducks, right? What are you going to... Oh.
I haven't seen you in here before. Mind if I buy you a drink? And if you don't mind, I'd like to show you my ducklings. Where is this going?
Now I'm on it. They don't give you much more information. I guess what else do you need to know? Weirdo.
I don't know, man. He seemed nice, but then he had ducklings in his drawers. I just couldn't pull the trigger.
Are your pants moving?
Yeah, that's your pants moving, or are you just glad to see me?
Right.
Are those ducklings in your underwear? Be honest. Oh my God, did you bring me ducklings?
I
did. No, not rubber duckies like for the bath. Literal live ducklings in the arsonist's underwear. That's a whole mix of all sorts of. I mean, there's a host of therapists that need to be involved in this guy's recovery.
Right.
What are you going to do? But in the meantime, a little closer to home, you mentioned this before the break. We've got we have definitely gone way past the point of no return where beer is concerned, like the microbrews and then the different types of brews. I had a quote unquote hazy IPA over the weekend. It tasted like someone had put some grapefruit juice into a dish sponge and then squeezed it into a glass. It was, at some point, I'm like, my taste buds revolted about 10 years ago. Right. And because I used to be like beer guy, always looking for that new beer. And then one day,
guy, that was you?
I was that guy for a little while. And then one day I went, I think I'm just going to have a Heineken or maybe even like just give me a Sam Adams, and then you know what? Screw that. Just give me a Miller Lite. Just give me the simplest, the easiest, crispest. I'm done with the IPAs and the EPAs and the OPAs and the APAs and the whatever and the yippee-IAs. Just give me a beer. And I've kind of stayed there. I was thrilled to come to Minnesota and see hams everywhere.
Hams.
The land of sky blue waters.
Hams, the beer that birthed my band in Atlanta. That was the cheapest beer at the market on the corner. We were hams obsessed back then. So my whole point is I'm kind of done with like these, all the new beer things. And this is one that I can tell you right now, if my friend offered me one, I'd probably pass. Check this out. Epic Clean Tech. It's a company in San Francisco. They are, at what it sounds like, an environmentally conscious water treatment company. Okay?
Sure.
They have created a beer made from treated household wastewater.
Stop it.
Yes.
Stop it. Can't we do something else with that? As long as they have a really colorful, catchy can.
Now, it's not toilet water. It's water from sinks and bathtubs that all comes from a 40-story apartment complex in San Francisco.
No.
So that's a lot of sink water, a lot of bathtub and shower water. It's kind of gross. The company says this water is actually cleaner than what you would find in natural sources because they put it through 9 million filters. They have a beer called Epic One Water Brew. They have produced 7,000 cans, and the CEO of the company says, quote, "It just tastes really good."
Oh, thanks.
That's their tagline.
That's the tagline. Just tastes really good.
If it just tasted really good, then you just sell it as beer. But you're trying to sell it as a gimmick and get people that are, care about the planet to go, I'm drinking this beer because it's made from wastewater. No, you were trying too hard. You know what? Just recycle it back into the water. We're good. Just put it back into the clean water. Put it back into the 40-story residential apartment complex in San Fran and let them reuse their super clean water. And that's sustainability.
And while you're at it, go reopen Anchor Steam because that brewery just closed, and that's a fine product.
That's been around forever.
No kidding. There was a when I was in college in Kentucky in the 80s, we used to get something called Cooks, and you could get a case of Cooks for way under $10.
Yeah.
And at some point during a weekend in the dorm pounding Cooks, somebody noticed on the can, nowhere on the can did it say beer. It said for real beer flavor.
Oh.
And suddenly we were all like, I always have the worst hangover when I'm drinking Cooks.
Huh.
And we were like, what is it? It's just got beer flavor. It was just formaldehyde with a tincture of beer flavoring in there or something.
It's what they flushed out the beer vats with,
Yeah,
it's got a little tinge of beer
That's
in there.
exactly it. We were like, no wonder it cost $3 for a 12er. Oh, my God. And then when you add the crystals, or up here, it's like the Southern White Castle, then you're talking about your whole weekend is just shot to hell.
Yeah, right, exactly. That'll keep you regular.
Real beer flavor. Which, by the way, the youngsters, the youth of America, not interested in beer flavor. Check this out. 39% of Americans now say consuming 1 to 2 drinks a day is bad for your health. The young adults not drinking as much as their forebearers or forefathers or
Hit
older
that
kids.
vape again, why don't you?
Yeah. 52% in a poll of 18 to 34-year-olds said even moderate drinking really bad for your health, and it's a very much something that they're concerned with.
Well, I mean, haven't we been pounding that into their skull? No, they're fine.
What about the what?
Edibles?
Yeah, they're going with the edibles.
No big deal. Well, by the way, let's move it up. Adults ages 35 to 50 now drinking at the highest prevalence ever recorded for this age group.
Huh. Yes.
So the group just behind us here and just ahead of Candace, they're just partying.
Yeah.
They are going for it. Use of marijuana and hallucinogens for adults 35 to 50 at an all-time high. Emphasis on high, I guess.
Right.
Marijuana use has doubled over the past 10 years for adults 35 to 50.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about it on this show. The marijuana you get today, that ain't the marijuana of our golden youth. It's an entirely different animal. And more adults, 35 to 50, are smoking than have ever done. And let's see, 4% of middle-aged adults admit to having done LSD or mushrooms over the past year, hallucinogens. If 4% are admitting it, then 14% have done it at least, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because there's still a stigma around those things. As much as we hear about microdosing helping with depression and treat anxiety, and there are clinical uses now, microdosing mushrooms and acid, I think people still have a bit of a stigma. But weed, apparently, that's just long gone. And everybody is banging the weed more than ever. That's a really shocking turn of events. Less booze, more weed, but you know what? It does check out.
Yeah, I think it does.
It's as far as health concerns, it makes perfect sense. Well, I mean, no one's died from weed. I mean, you might have fallen off a bridge because you were stoned, but the weed itself doesn't do to your body anything close to what alcohol does.
Right. You might sit there in the recliner for the next 20 years, putting on 80 pounds. You might become obese as a result of it, but the weed itself, that's on you. I know people that smoke weed and love to go out and go for a jog or clean the house or something like that. So it has different effects on people. I think 39 years of age, you're just getting past the BS in your life, right? All that stuff they shove down your throat saying, don't do this. We see the young generation now. Well, 1 or 2 drinks, that can kill you. That's, they've been talking about that for years. But then by the time they're 39, they'll realize it's all a bunch of BS. And the whole mission that we're on here is to just get high and get through the day.
I'm trying to think about when I was 39, if I was at a place of just, screw it, I'm done. I remember turning 30 and having that reaction, which was just thrilled to still be here at 30 and just thought, okay, I'm not that it was over, not that there's not always more a deeper understanding of it, but it's kind of like, wait a minute, how much stuff am I doing because I think I'm supposed to do, and how much stuff should I just do because I want to?
Right.
That was clear on my 30th birthday, and then I woke up the next day and I forgot all about it because I got so drunk I forgot that I had that realization about myself.
Yeah, no doubt.
Should have gone with the shrooms, stuck with the beer, and one thing led to another.
I know. I tell you what, those psychedelics, though, that microdosing that you're talking about, I hear people talking about that casually now. And before it used to be just kind of a, not microdosing, but just getting acid or shrooms or something like that was considered very counterculture. I did it once. Mm-hmm. I did that once. I did it a couple of times. I had a bad trip once. But it's becoming more and more part of the language.
I never did it as a teenager, and I'm really glad that I didn't. I think it would have been problematic. I was 29 years old, steaming towards 30, and it kind of dawned on me, like, I've never done acid. And I'm like, I'm in a band. I'm in a rock band. All my favorite artists have done acid. Everyone I know has done acid. Why have I never done acid? And I was 29, and I was like, I think I'm going to do acid. And so I did.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I had no problems with that.
I never tried pot till I was in my 20s. Just didn't have it around South Dakota. I was drinking beer by the time I was 12,
Me too. First time I smoked pot, I was 21.
Yeah, I was 21 too. Yeah, 21. So again, I got started. I'm glad I didn't, because as a teenager, I'm sure I would have just been the kid that didn't do squat and just sat around with his headphones on, man, listening to Floyd and Deep Purple. And
if I'd smoked weed as a teenager, it would have put me to sleep even faster than it does now, probably. But if I'd done acid, I would have had some real qualms about the existential nature of my innermost fears. I think that would have been a bad thing for me in my teen years. I would have had way too many questions. And then the answers I would have come up with would not have been satisfactory.
Just describe your acid experience.
Just a lot of fun. Very fun. There are some, it was not just a one-off, just for the record, but I always found myself. Well, first things first, get good acid. Like, make sure it's not garbage acid.
Yeah.
So there's not a little hint of Drano in there to really send you off. I never did too much. I never had that thing where I was like, oh man, I overdid it. I always tiptoed in, made sure it was cool. If I doubled down, it was with a realistic sense of what I was getting into. I just found a lot of great conversation, hilarity at all turns.
Yeah.
I didn't have the visual stuff, but things sounded very different. I had like aural, AUROL hallucinations more than visual hallucinations. All in a good way. And always with people that I knew and trusted, always in a secure location. I was never the guy that was like, I'm going to do acid. And well, that's not true. I actually did it and walked around Paris one day. That was a bit weird. But for the most part, it wasn't about, trying to get out there and go blotto and figure out the universe. It was just to have a good time, and that was always what it was.
Yeah. At a very young age, I had a buddy that did it every day. This sunshine acid that came out of California. I didn't get his hands on a batch of it or however.
Can't recommend it.
Yeah, he did it every day, and then you saw the effect of it and just fried egg. So that scared me away from it for a while. But yeah, after that, I remember just being in a bar one night and dancing with a gal. She's like a Miller Lite model in a bikini holding a Miller Lite, and it turns out it was, in fact, a Miller Lite poster that I was dancing with.
Oh, my God.
That'll happen.
That'll happen.
I watched my buddy Clint do a, when you almost bump into somebody and then you step left and they step right, but it's the same direction. Because I watched my friend Clint do that at a bar, and he went, and he was standing in front of a mirror.
That's hilarious.
He was tripping, and he did. It was like, it felt to me like an hour, but it was probably 7. I'm not exaggerating. 7. And then he finally looked up, and he was looking at himself in the mirror, and we all watched it, and we were dying. It was great.
I'm gonna put a little pin in a note here. We're coming back to acid stories some morning. Some fun acid stories.
Why not?
Tony, you haven't shared yours anyway, but I know we're running a little late. Hold on to it. Save it. We started the day with this really weird, I don't know what you would call this, bucket list item for a woman that was dying. She had 6 months left to live, and she asked her husband made a very uncomfortable wish. I kind of want to come back to that, but I don't want to say what it is right now because it got us all fired up right away this morning. We're going to get back into this at 9 o'clock. If you want to contribute on the KQ Facebook page, you can check it out over there. But what would you do? What would you ask of your loved ones if you only had 6 months left to live? Do you have a bizarre request, something that you might want to do? But I want to reshare this one with you because it seems to have divided a lot of people. That's coming at 9 o'clock. Hang tight.
Bartender, set them up for everybody.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Monday, August the 21st, 2023. Am I the a-hole? That's the question.
Well,
I guess, yeah. I mean, I am at times. I mean, go figure. You can't please everybody all the time. There's a I almost said Substack. There's a Reddit page. There's a whole section of Reddit called Am I the A-Hole, where people share stories from their life and ask, did I handle this wrong? Did the other guy handle it wrong? Who's the A-Hole in this story? And we started the day discussing a very interesting one that led us into the idea of bucket lists. What would you do? There's two really thoughts. What do you want to accomplish before you die? What's on your bucket list? Or more specifically, for the purposes of this story, what if you were told you only have a limited amount of time? Does something rise to the front of your list? Does something out of your subconscious leap forward that you may not have even ever known was important to you? And the reason we are asking is the story on the page is a gentleman, I should say a woman, was given a 9-month diagnosis from a doctor. The doctor said, ma'am, I'm sorry, you have a degenerative disease that's moving very quickly. You have about 9 months. And the last few months, you're going to be losing mobility and not be able to function too well. She and her husband were rocked by the news as they were discussing what she wanted to do with the little bit of time left. She actually said, I would like, if it's okay with you, to sleep with an ex. I just want to have one last go-round with a guy that I used to be involved with. It was the best sex of my life, and if I could have that one more time, that'd be great. And so, that's a minefield just to wade into.
Yeah.
Unexpected. And I said, this is the kind of thing that the woman in question, she may have had no idea that this was still in the back of her mind. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
It could be that sort of, you never know until you're in the situation what's really going to happen. The dude is like, so what do I do here? My God, I mean, she's going to be dying. I think what you do is, I don't think you deny a dying person something. They come to you and have the decency to say, this is really important to me. You got to have to process it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to love it. But I don't know how you look at someone and say, no, you absolutely, I forbid you as your husband to do the one thing that you want to do. Get over yourself. What kind of, sometimes being second best lover in someone's life is not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Your marriage was a sham. It was a lie. It didn't mean anything, but that's cool. At least she told you before she cacked and didn't leave a note on your pillow.
There's that, I guess.
Because that's, whatever. I'd be like, okay, good. But it does sort of tarnish the whole, hey, we have 6 months. Let's, just really, what can I do? You want to go bang your old boyfriend? Go nuts.
See, here's what I think. Here's what I think. It'd almost be cruel to let her do it because there's no way in hell that's going to live up to her expectation. She's going to feel worse after. Because seriously, she's not going to be able to focus on the task at hand. She's going to be like, oh my God, this is the last time I'm ever going to have this guy. Whereas before she'd gotten the death sentence, she thought maybe I'll have him a bunch of more times in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
Now it's like she's setting herself up for disappointment at best. And by the way, think about the ex. He's just out there living his life. He gets a phone call.
Yeah.
Hey, can we get together one last time? Because I don't have much time. I don't think he's going to be at his best.
He's like, let me check with my partner.
Exactly.
And what else is on the list? What's number 2 and 3?
Basically, she's like an arsonist with ducklings in her panties at this point, just spreading little fires all over the place. If you missed the last hour, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But that said, I do want to, I'm going to come back to your thoughts on this, but we do have a caller who's got a thought, and they've already been on hold for a little bit, so I want to get to them. Candace, who we got?
We have Christine from Egan.
Good morning, Christine.
Good morning. Hi, you guys.
It's lovely to hear from you. What do you got for us today?
Well, I sent in the text about wanting to punch my brothers in the throat.
Oh, you're the one.
You did. Okay. If you found out you didn't have much time left, I believe you texted, you would punch all 3 of your brothers in their Adam's apple, was the text.
Yes, indeed. But I can sum it up in one quick story.
Please.
As a 6-year-old, I would ride up and down the street on my bike at Mach speed, and my brothers figured out how to slide their skateboard to just go right between the wheels. So that I would go ASS over tea kettle. And I still have the stars to prove it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, they've got one coming in the Adam's apple.
Sure.
Yeah. It's coming their way.
You didn't, no sweet revenge yet on those boys?
Nope, not yet, because, well, I have to wait till I have 6 months to live.
Well, let's hope it doesn't happen.
Man, talk about a dish served cold. That's ice cold.
No, I know. I love you guys.
Thank you so much, Christine. Great to talk to you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
She's so sweet. Can you see her just coming up and, hey, 6 months left to live. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Oh, my God, she just punched me in the Adam's apple.
There's a fire burning within.
Yeah.
Man.
I like that. Well, you know, and listen, any one of us, you know, if we receive the news, God knows what might pop into our head. That just seems rude, doesn't it? I mean, come back and go, I just want to have, all right, go ahead and spit it out. But she has to know there are going to be consequences for that. Mm-hmm. Or maybe the guy's just a super nice guy. That's why she married him, and that's why she never had an orgasm with him. We know how that works.
Could be that.
Right. If they want to marry you, if they say yes, that means they're not having good sex with you. Just means you're a nice guy.
Wow.
They're thinking about somebody else. That's what I'm taking from this story.
Okay, I you're welcome to that. You know, whereas I always just think, well, maybe it's not so bad. I'm always looking for. I just want everyone to get along. I want everyone to be happy. Generally speaking, I don't know why I have that need. Like, you know, I mean, hell, if I watch a movie and there's any conflict, which is the root of all story, I just want it resolved.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always like, well, come on, guy, just say what you're thinking. Why can't everyone just express their true feelings? And that's never the case.
Yeah, you better have 6 months left if you're going to go with your true feelings. Although, I don't know. I'm just being a little cynical this morning. I do like Tom's post on the KQ Facebook page here. Go skydiving, cool. Go Rocky Mountain climbing, fun. And then one more here for him. Go for a ride on a bull named Fu Manchu.
Those are song lyrics.
That's a song.
Yes,
yeah.
I know it's a song. Good God,
man!
Well, sing it
then.
then.
Hit us up
shut
on
my
the
microphone off.
hit us up 651-989 Rock Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk. A text line. There are calls coming in the meantime. Okay, this is a couple that's been together 10 years. Unlike the couple we also heard about, their marriage apparently lasted 1 day, and I'll tell you why. Because at the wedding, one thing the bride asked of her groom.
Mm-hmm.
She said, please do not do that thing where you take a piece of wedding cake and shove it in my face. Correct. That is the last thing I want you to do. He said, no problem. So he didn't do that. What he did was he put his hand on the back of her head and he shoved her face into the whole cake.
Oh, they're hilarious.
And
dude.
Literally, she filed for divorce the next day. This is a couple that have been together for years. And that's another one of these questions where online it's like, well, am I wrong or am I right? Her family's telling her she's overreacting. And she's saying, I specifically said the one thing I can't have is cake shoved in my face.
Yeah.
On top of it, she was in a bad car accident a few years ago, and she suffers from occasional claustrophobia since then. Yeah. He took her face and buried it into a full wedding cake. And, in fact, he had planned it because he had cupcakes as a backup for after he had done it. And she literally said, this just is the biggest red flag. And a marriage therapist that she sought out the counsel of said, no, you're right. You have every right to think this guy doesn't respect you at all.
No. Can't trust him.
And by the way, 100% right. I mean, who would say, no, you should stay with him? He's a nice guy. That's an insane thing to do to somebody, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's any difference between this and the woman that wants to sleep with her ex.
Okay.
I think they
just
parallel
deal breakers.
You're right. Because you're right. You can't trust him. And if you're just going to be, dude, he's clearly, I don't know, narcissistic or so into himself and thinks that he's funny and, my buddies laughed and that sort of thing. Who wants to live a life like that with this? It's only going to get worse.
That's a good point. Yeah, if that's day one, man, what in the hell? You hear about the first 100 days of a presidential term. What about the first 100 days of that marriage?
Yeah, a guy on his wedding day, generally, if he doesn't get smashed drunk and do that sort of thing, my deal was I wouldn't drink on the wedding day. In fact, I didn't drink the night before. You know, that whole thing. Stayed sober for a couple of days to enjoy the experience and do this together and that whole thing. And that really worked out for both of us, divorced 20 years later. But I mean, it was the ceremony and everything was good. But yeah, that's probably the best a guy's ever going to be in his relationship to you. I mean, that's when he's putting his best foot forward. So if that's the best he can come up with.
Yeah, one would hope.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This is apex gentleman.
Yeah, exactly.
For him.
Exactly. Yeah. Divorce the douche.
Unbelievable.
Good God.
I
just was having fun. It was just a joke. Yeah, idiot.
That's exactly what that is. I we didn't have a big wedding, so there wasn't. We actually kind of ran away and got married. It was all but an elopement at the end of the day. For a variety of reasons. A lot going on in our lives, and it was just we wanted to be married, but we just didn't have the ability to put together a big event. We had a party a month later and invited all the families. They all came down to Atlanta, and that was very nice. When I think about the idea of a big wedding, and I'm glad the way we did it, because especially at that time, I can't imagine just the amount of stress that is just whether you think you care or not. That's one of those. It's got to just be insane. You're thinking about all the people there and who's sitting here and who's doing that and what's the catering or what's the flight. I don't know. Who knows what all. All I'm saying is if you are yet to be married and you're planning on it, just run away. Just go do it somewhere else. Do it nice and small.
As a father of 2 daughters, that was my deal with them. If you run away, you get this much money for the wedding. You can take it and you can spend it all on a wedding, or you can run away and get married.
Yeah.
Send us some photos and then and pocket the rest. We do have another bucket list caller, Candace.
Doug from Rosemont.
Good morning, Doug.
Morning, bro.
What's happening?
Just going home to get my vitamins that I forgot to take.
Oh, damn it.
I know. It happens.
It's those vitamins that help you maintain your memory, apparently. Yeah.
Did you leave your dog out at home? Was that the deal?
Exactly.
All right.
No. Well, all right. So I'm going to jump right in. My bucket list would be to play and sing on stage with a major rock group, rock concert. My ideal would be to sing and play with the Eagles.
They're coming to town.
Yeah.
Well, let's not kill Doug off just to get him his wish.
Right, Doug, if we could get you something terminal between now and then, we might have a shot here.
In.
Hey, man, how's it going, Doug?
Good. Gusto guy, Doug, at your service.
Oh, Gusto guy. Yeah, go for the Gusto guy. Well, yeah, no, that's an amazing bucket list item right there. Absolutely. And if you have 6 months to live, you could play that card. One of those make a wish for an adult kind of things.
And no one will remind you of how poorly you sang or played. Yeah. It'll just be, hey, great job, dude.
Yeah, and
Well, actually, Steve, I'm not that bad if I do blow my own horn. In fact, at Hairball, I was singing the song. Yeah, exactly. I was singing along with Motley Crue and actually the song I'm a Cowboy.
Okay.
Let's get a little taste of that.
The couple behind me, his wife says, "Oh, my God, you're a good singer."
Fair enough.
All right, we're going to have to get you on KQ Okie one of these times. Now, Doug, since we've got you on and you're just a regular down-to-earth fella, let me ask you about the guy whose gal was 6 months terminal. She's going to die in 6 months and she wants to sleep with an ex. Are you cool with that?
No.
Okay. Just checking. Just
hands down. No.
All right. Just checking.
He needs to step up his game and pretend he's the ex.
Well, you know what? I think Steve, or maybe it was Tony, brought that up earlier. Maybe like, all right, sweetie, I see what you're saying. There's another lover in your life that was better than me. I've got 6 months. I'd like to take a shot at the title, Yeah.
OMG.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. No, you need to step it up.
All right.
Fair enough. Doug, thanks for the call, brother.
You need get your vitamins.
Get those vitamins. Keep that voice ready. You never know when the call's going to come. Mm-hmm. And as Candace said, the Eagles are going to be here just in a matter of months, of weeks.
Damn. All right. Now I'm thinking about sports and music history.
I have one more thing to share.
Please do.
And that is the fact that 92 KQRS will be live this week at the Minnesota State Fair, ladies and gentlemen. Stop by the KQ Outdoor Lounge at the corner of Cooper and Lee and pick up brand new KQ gear. Meet up with the KQ Morning Show this Friday from 11 to 1. Bingo, bango. Friday, 8/23. We'll be there from 11 to 1. We're going to have a chance for you to win a Liberty Safe or airfare to the destination of choice. Your destination of choice. Plus, every day you'll have a shot to win $100 in free groceries. Great Scott.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to throw this in there. I hope Promotions doesn't get angry with me, but we're going to have free merch for anyone that can come out and guess which one of us has ducklings in our pants.
Wow, I like that. Complete contest rules, especially where the ducklings are concerned, at 92KQRS.com. All of this is sponsored by the Minnesota Roofing Company. Sweet.
I'm stoked for the fair. Not the 100-degree temperatures that are coming with it. All right.
$17. How's that?
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Monday, August the 21st. Heart crazy on you. Here's something crazy for you. If you're paying any attention to the MLS, the soccer league in the United States of America, they just wrapped up a big tournament over the weekend where all the teams from the MLS and all the teams from the Mexican League played in a tournament together called the Leagues Cup. The final Saturday night was Miami, recently the team of Lionel Messi, the greatest player ever, in Nashville against Nashville Soccer Club. I have season tickets to that club. I came here from Nashville, of course. I'm a season ticket holder. I declined the option to buy in to Leagues Cup tickets. I had no idea Lionel Messi would be there on a Saturday night when I denied that opt-in. I could have sold those tickets for thousands and thousands of dollars and did not give myself the opportunity. I'm still smarting over that one. It's bad enough that I couldn't be at the game. It's worse that I didn't have tickets to then flip and sell for quite a lot of money to go see Lionel Messi play.
That was an unbelievable game, too.
So
it
I
really
don't,
was.
I don't pretend to be a soccer guy. I don't know soccer very well.
Sure.
You've already corrected me in 2023 when I said Messier, and you're like, no, dude, it's just Messi.
It's just Messi.
It's Messi. Dude, you're messing up Messi.
Yeah.
But I was just, had the sports radio on, or I was listening to something the other day, and so he said he's in Miami, which had one of the worst records and was one of the worst soccer teams.
Worst.
Yeah, the worst in the league. And now the day they got there, it was a 180-degree turn. I mean, what player in what sport? Jordan, I suppose.
Well,
probably not even. Maybe a Tom Brady in his prime.
Full disclosure.
Like
Disclosure. It's not just Messi. They got a couple other players. A couple of great Spanish players in there, like Messi, towards the end of their career. They have 3 new guys that are all world class,
all right,
along with a new coach who's a world-class coach. So they fired the coach. They brought in 3 global superstars in their twilight years, although Messi is hardly in his twilight. The guy won a World Cup for Argentina 8-9 months ago. So it's not just Messi, but he is clearly the biggest straw stirring that drink. He's been on a tear.
Kind of what did the Miami Heat thing there. Went out and bought themselves
Pretty much.
a team.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder, does he play quarterback? Could we get him here?
Give him a minute. He'll figure it out.
Take a couple of snaps and, get him through the preseason, and who knows, we might have a winner, yeah.
So before the game, David Beckham's one of the owners of the Miami team, and, of course, they're interviewing him before the game, which I always love to see Beckham interviewed because he still looks great. Really handsome guy, a global icon, and I think it's always great when people that don't know get a chance to hear firsthand that he kind of talks like this. He's just got the weirdest. Every time he opens his voice, I'm like, "What? You're like that." He's like that car horn. Meep.
Yeah.
It's just there's something missing. He had the timbre removed from his vocal cords.
It's kind of jarring, isn't it?
It's really strange to see like that guy, this soccer legend from Manchester United in England, and when Messi came over, we were really excited to have him come in. It's just the funniest thing to me. What are you going to do? Quick car note. If you are a fan of the Ford Mustang, we all know, what's it, 65 Mustang convertible? I mean, you can do
iconic.
You can do no better.
Right.
There is a new Mustang coming down the road, the 2025 Ford Mustang. They have announced. It's the Ford Mustang GTD, which I believe stands for Get Into Debt, if you will. The 2025 Ford Mustang GTD will come with a $300,000 price tag.
Ooh.
Not a Ferrari, not a Lamborghini, a Ford Mustang.
Well, they better have put a lot of that under the hood.
I believe they have. I don't think this is an EV. I don't think this is a battery type of situation. They say it's taking a few tips from the old Shelby Cobra vibe, if you will. More than 800 horsepower.
That'll come in handy.
Holy smokes. It's going to rev to 7,500 RPM.
Yeah, Jordan Addison's already pre-ordered one.
That's exactly right. A revised supercharger system with a new pulley and unique engine tuning. It's got a titanium Akrapovic exhaust system. It's got a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know what it means, but I do know that if you want a Ford Mustang for $300,000, then Ford has the Mustang for you year after next.
I think this is kind of their c'est la vie of the gas guzzler, right? Because they had talked about going EV with the Mustang.
Yeah.
And so this is one last hurrah. Why not put 800 horse under that hood?
Got to go out with a bang.
Yeah. I mean, I won't I may get a look at one someday.
Sure.
I might see it go zipping by. But
take a gander.
Better be a CD changer in it.
There's.
Would you put a bumper sticker on that car?
I'd put a bumper sticker on someone else's Mustang GTV, and then I'd run like hell.
Yeah, I want to be rich enough where I just put a bumper sticker on it, because why the hell not?
Yeah, really. My other car is one of those bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Foxy Grandma.
There's a northern suburb of Detroit, Birmingham. Foxy Grandma, Birmingham, Michigan. Is where a lot of car execs live. It's a very Tony upper-class suburb, if you will.
All right.
And there's a hotel up there that's very band deficient. A lot of touring bands stay at this hotel. I think it's called the Birmingham. I don't know what it's. No, it's not. It's the Townsend in Birmingham. Stayed there a bunch. But that little neighborhood is full of car execs. And so in that little town, and it's got like a little main street. It's like a little Mayberry in the middle of the Detroit suburbs. My whole point is a ton of cars you'll see there that you'll see nowhere else.
Right.
They whip up these prototypes, and the execs drive them home. And they bring them. If you go to, there's a little town called Birmingham, Michigan. I promise. Go there and just hang out on the main drag where the bagel shop and the ice cream shop are, and you'll see like one-off cars from all the car manufacturers. Pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, what am I going to drive down that street? My rental?
Yeah, sure.
My Ford Fiesta?
That's what I do. That's what I've done. I don't care. I don't, whatever. I just want to go see all these weird cars you'll never see anywhere else.
What a car show.
It's kind of fascinating. Let's look back. How about a history lesson?
I like sports. I know music better than anybody else in this office.
And who are you, old sport?
I'm Steve.
I am Steve. Sports history for this day. Nothing. Nothing happened on August 21st. There was stuff like, so-and-so got a base hit and somebody got a triple play. Who cares? There's nothing worth noting. I'm sorry.
Bound to happen.
I looked. I couldn't find it. You get the day off, sports history nerds.